Great day, attractive thinker. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your break the cycle specialist at theattractivethinker.guru. I am delighted to be back with you for another episode of Beyond the Break 2020. This message that we're going to share with you today, I'm just ready to dive right in because we are living life in a new normal. Whether you recognize it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, or whether you're still waiting for it to go back to the way it used to be or not, this is our new normal. And when it comes down to a new normal, we're not sure what that looks like or how to position it or if you're really in it. And then we're going to be sharing some insight on change, how to adapt to change, how to properly change, how to reposition yourself and make those necessary shifts to change, right? And
Yes.
can you stand to be blessed? All of this is tied up into the same thing, because when you're blessed, when you're living a blessing or you have an answered prayer or something that you desire has manifested in your life, it's a new normal for you. You're not living the same old life. So I want to welcome you to another episode of Beyond the Break 2020 with my co-host Tishette Bradshaw. Welcome, Tishette.
Hi, hello everybody. I hope today is just as amazing as we are. You know, God has really created us to be these amazing creatures who get to live out this amazing life. I am Tishette Bradshaw, the visual encourager at visualencouragement.com, where I help you get mental support. We can go so far and
Yes.
do so many things with mental support. You know, we're talking today about new normal. And your new normal is knowing that you are supported. And that's what we're here to do at visualencouragement.com. Lift the heaviness so that you can create a new normal.
Yes, I totally agree. When we talk about creating a new normal, now think about this for a minute, attractive thinker. You have visions and dreams and goals that you're working on or they have manifested in your life. And you know, when as coaching with some of my clients, I ask them because I wait and I listen. When they start telling me the dreams and goals that they have for their life, and I tell them how I can support them with my programs and things like that, and the mental tools that we offer, I listen very closely to what they're saying. And then I drop the bomb on them. I say, okay, so what is life like after that? After you accomplish that goal? What does life look like now? And it's total silence. It's total silence. They said, I've never had anybody ask me that question before, or I've never considered that before. They don't even know. They haven't cast the vision yet for what life looks like after they become an entrepreneur, after they become an author, after they become a business owner, after they accomplish that goal, after they transition, after they move and transform their lives. What is life like now? Who are you? What is your new identity? So today we're going to be talking about it's a new normal. You've stepped into a new normal, whether by voluntarily or by force. We are now in a new normal, and we have to learn how to function as such. And in a new normal, there's a tendency to have the desire to go back to the way things used to be. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
we're forced into a new normal and we still have all of these attachments to the way things used to be. Attachments to our old identity, attachment to our old relationships, attachments to our old thoughts and beliefs, attachments to how we respond, our old conversations, our old words, attachments to our old lifestyle, how we used to show up in our day. So when we talk about it's a new normal, everything has to change. And that's
Everything.
the beautiful part of change. Change, there's a little bit of friction and frustration or turmoil or turbulence along the way, but then the dust settles and it becomes your new normal. It's just how I live.
Mhm.
It's just how I show up in the world. It's just what I do. What do you think, Tishette?
Yes, it definitely change is definitely something that has to take place in your new normal. It's crazy because change requires a shift
Mm-hmm.
in the mindset, in your habits, in your language. Like we've talked about before, change requires a shift. It's not always an easy shift, but you have to be willing to shift and change because nothing will change until you do. You know, because even if you went forward, say you were being blessed, or okay, let's paint a scenario because that's what I do as a visual encourager. Say you were just going through a situation that wasn't pleasing,
Mm-hmm.
and you pray for manifestation of, something opposite of other than what you're going through. Okay, so let's be specific. Let's say you were going through a financial hardship, and you were praying for millions. You were praying, for God to give you an overflowing abundance. Well, that change for that overflowing abundance has to start here first, and in your spirit, before it changes physically. So you were used to living where you were struggling and scratching and surviving and having to account for every penny and making life decisions over milk, whether you're going to do milk or lights. You were so used to that struggle and that surviving, not realizing you are created to be more than conquerors, not just to survive. He want to give you abundance, live life in that more abundantly. So you're praying for that abundance, and then the abundance comes in, right? It comes in an unexpected way. You are now faced where you can buy a different house. You're not worried about this. You're not worried about that. It is possible that you can still try or attempt to hold on to old habits and routines. This is how people who get blessed that didn't change their mindset end up right back to where they were, because you have to be willing to shift and change in order to embrace your new normal. It's okay for you to live blessed. It's okay for you to have millions. It's okay for you to be okay and well off and wealthy. It's okay for you to build a legacy and have more than enough to pass down from generation to generation. It is okay for you to have that, but can you stand to do that?
Yeah.
Can you make the necessary changes to do that? But not just to do it, because a lot of us, we can do it, but can you maintain it? They say if you have millions of people that gain or earn their money, earn $1 million, when they lose it, 9 times out of 10, they're going to earn it back again because they remembered how they had to change with it. They had to shift with it. But again, nothing will change until you do. So you have to live out or live in the mindset of the person that is receiving the abundance you're looking for. And it could be a restoration of health. It doesn't always have to be money, because sometimes it could be health. You might be sick in your body, but you're praying for healing. And then an answer comes through, many sources. Maybe one might be of this break the cycle specialist, Dr. Toni, who really is a health guru. She give you some answers and some tips, on how to be healthy. But then you go home and you have that, information, but you're not implementing the information, and you're not allowing it to seep in and change. Because when you change, your habits have to change, your language has to change, the way you think has to change, your environment has to change. Sometimes the people around you have to change. Either they got to grow with you or change, or it has to change. You can't go back to doing the same things that you've always done, because when you do that, you are going, like we said before, you are risking, returning back to the same old mindset routine, and you're creating the same situations, the same consequences over and over again. So this is why, when embracing your new normal, you got to be willing to shift and change with it. Nothing will change until you do.
I like that. Change means change. Nothing changes until something changes. I want you to think about that, attractive thinker, and you being the change agent. It was a great awakening when I realized that I was the change agent in my life, that I was the creator of my world, and that nothing was going to change until I changed. That's a lot of responsibility and accountability. And a lot of times people are struggling with change because they don't want to do that. They don't want things to change. They want change, but they don't want things to change around them, or they don't want to have to change things. That can be a big barrier and a block to your success when it's time to get to the next level. Let's say you want to be, well, let me say this, because while you were talking to Shet, something came before me. I was reminded of, and I think his name was R.W. Shambach, when he gave him, and he was a spiritual healer, when he gave his testimony about when he was younger, as a little boy, he was sick. I mean, sick unto death. He had lost so much weight. He was like almost down to skin and bone, basically, the way he was describing it. And he was talking about his mother, the faith of his mother. His mother told him, because when he came back from the hospital, they gave him his diagnosis. I think he had TB or something like that, back in the day. So his mother told him, if you believe that God has healed you, then you every single day, instead of laying in that bed with those pajamas on and those covers pulled over your head, I want you to get up and get dressed and make your bed, and you can lay across the top of it, but I want you to get up and put some clothes on. Because see, when a person is sick, they're used to wearing the hospital gown or being in their pajamas, their comfy clothes around the house, or being in the bed, or always either laying down or sitting in a chair. That's a different posture. You mentioned that, Tisha. There's a conversation that goes with the lifestyle that we live, the current lifestyle, or the posture that we have, our presence, our being. There's a whole culture that goes with that. So if you're sick, sick people talk about how they feel. They don't feel good. This is hurting, that's hurting, or can you hand me my medication? Or can you help me sit up? Or can you help me get to the chair? Can you help me put my shoes on? I have to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. That's the conversation of sick people, right? Or people that don't feel well. They have these thoughts. Am I going to get better? Is God going to heal me? God's going to heal me. I have faith in God. I'm healed by the stripes of Jesus. I don't feel so good. I don't know if I'm going to make it. The doctor said that there's nothing else they can do. Or the doctor says it's going to take 6 weeks. Maybe it'll take 6 months. There's a thought process that goes along with someone who doesn't feel well. There's a belief. There's a conversation. There's a lifestyle. There are habits. You're always walking around real slow. You're walking around holding on to the dresser, holding on to the bed, and then grabbing for the dresser to hold on to that, and then grabbing for the doorpost to hold on to that, and you're just holding on to stuff as you go. There's a lifestyle that goes along with not feeling well. But if you've made up your mind that you're going to get better, then there's a whole lifestyle, a whole posture change and shift that goes along with that. You don't act like a sick person. You don't say that, lay there and say, oh, my aching back. You get up with as much strength as you can. You know what? You don't even have to get up. If you don't have enough strength to get up, just turning over or shifting your weight is resisting that illness and letting your body know that you are getting up from here, that you're getting better and you're not getting worse. See, there's a posture that we must have. There's some things that we can do when we standing in faith. And all of this is about embracing a new normal. Tasha says, can you stand to be blessed? My question is, can you stand to be healed? Can you stand to be healed? Is it okay if you don't complain anymore? Are you willing to let go of that aching back? Are you willing to let go of that conversation? Are you willing not to be the center of the conversation about your arthritis? Oh, my arthritis. Are you willing to part with arthritis? Denounce that? Can you stand to feel good? Can you stand to have a smile on your face? Can you stand? Can you get your body used to not having aches and pains? Can you stand to be pain-free? That's the question. The question isn't like, oh my God, like, is God going to heal me? Oh my God, am I going to get better? Oh, the doctor said this, doctor said, oh, I feel this and I feel that. No. Can you embrace health again? Are you okay with being healthy? Are you okay with feeling good? Do you have a great relationship with feeling good? Do you embrace that? Do you get up? Do you fight back in the spirit? Do you fight back? Do you know how to get up and say, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do that today, or I'm going to get from my bed to my chair without any support? I'm going to strengthen my own ankles even if I have to stand there for 5 minutes and get my balance. Are you willing to fight for your healing? Are you willing to shift your posture? I used to have debilitating migraine headaches, and I'm telling you, I mean, a headache that make when you move your mouth, it hurts your head. That kind of headache. I had to have the lights out. If somebody came in a room talking, I was like, I couldn't even get the words. I was like, you can't, because my head hurt so bad. I used to suffer with nosebleeds as a little girl and these debilitating migraine headaches. And I had to, now here's the deal. As long as I laid there and succumbed to that experience, my head was going to keep hurting. I tell my kids, because they all know how to take care of their health now. They know how to go in the kitchen and get something. We use our food as our medicine. They know how to do that. I put that in them when they were little so that they wouldn't be subject to surgeries and prescription drugs and pills and potions and getting cut and this cut off and that cut. No, your body can heal itself given proper nutrition. But as long as I laid there in that bed, my head continued to hurt. As bad as my head hurt, I refused to lay there. Even if I just sat up on the side of the bed and I'm telling you, when you have a migraine, you can feel the weight shift in your head. And I refused to lay there. And even if I just sat up on the side of the bed and took some deep breaths and then laid back down, but maybe that was just enough, as much as I could do. I made myself get up and go get a drink of water. No, I didn't want everybody catering to me, bringing me stuff, because that's what you do when a person is sick. But when you're claiming your healing, you take charge over yourself and you do it for yourself. Because you don't want to condition your body for everybody doing something for you. And then you lose your ability to do it for yourself. You get used to that. That becomes your comfort zone. And when you're in a comfort zone, you can get stuck there because it feels good. Even though you're in pain, it feels good to lay there. It feels good to have people wait on you. It feels good to have people feel sorry for you. As a health coach, I've experienced a lot of things when it comes down to people. I thought everybody wanted to be well. I'm here to tell you that they don't. Some people like their sickness because it gives them attention. Some people like their sickness because it gives them a reason not to go after what they're supposed to go after in life. You'd be surprised at the reasons and the excuses that we use for not stepping into a new normal. We want things in our life. We want wonderful things. We want extravagant things. When I say extravagant things, I'm not talking about materialistic things. I'm talking about a better way of living. We want joy and happiness and peace and love and serenity. And we want balance and harmony. We want these amazing things for our life. But what are we willing to give for them? Or what are we willing to exchange for them? Are we willing to change? And change, I'm not looking at change as a bad thing. Because when people think about change, like, man, I ain't up for all that. I got to do this. I got to do that. I ain't up for all of that. I just want this and that and the other. I ain't asked for all of that other stuff. But that's a part of the change, because change means you're okay. You're this way right now. I'm this way right now. This is my being. This is how I show up in the world. Let me give you an example. If I decide today that I want to be a doctor, it changes everything about my life. My conversation changes. Do you know my circle has to change? And I share this with my clients all the time. When you're embracing change, and I said this to my son not long ago, because we were having a conversation. He's in college and he's changing at rapid speeds. And I was saying to him, whenever in life you're changing anything about your life, don't forget to change your environment to accommodate that change, and change your circle to accommodate that change. Because if you don't, you're asking for trouble, you're asking for resistance, you're asking for a lot of blocks, mental blocks and stress and pressure. When you change, me deciding to go be a doctor, I have to change my environment. Everything about my environment has to represent the medical field. Because I'm studying, I need those mental reminders, I need charts, I need diagrams, I need to be looking at stuff. My TV shows change, my movies change, because I'm studying to be a doctor. My circle has to change because I need to be around people who understand medical terminology. Think about that. How would I become a doctor if I want to stay in my same circle and they're talking about who struck John? How is that going to help me be a doctor? Or I learn all of this information about being a doctor. Who do I share it with? If I don't create a new circle, who do I share it with that understands medical terminology, understands surgeries, understand this is what you do when you remove the heart or a heart transplant, or understand how the kidneys work? Who do I share that with if I don't change my circle? I'm asking for trouble. And that's a lot of times what we do as new and aspiring entrepreneurs. We gather all this new information and we try to shovel it into our old circle. And now all this crap hit the fan, books and pencils flying everywhere and microphones going to different different directions. And you're like, well, what happened? I thought you guys would be happy for me. It's not that they're not happy for you. It's that you're not in the right circle with you. When you're in the right circle, it's easy to have a conversation and there's no resistance. But when
Right.
you're not in the right circle, you're saying things innocently and you're wondering why you're getting all this resistance. You didn't mean any harm. You're being misunderstood. People are taking your intentions and saying that you meant this or that, the other. It's not the circle. It's not the thing that you desire to do. It's that you haven't accommodated that change with the right group of people and the right environment. You said something to Shet, and I'm gonna pass this on to you. You said something during one of our other episodes. You said something like, how do you change? You mentioned about a person in an environment and they're all excited. They got the resources, they got the CDs, the program, they bought the package, or they sat in church, they heard the message, or they went to the meeting, and they were all excited about it. And then when they got home, you said, how do you take that same energy home to implement?
Mm-hmm.
And the issue, my response to you was this: that environment where you got that idea, I want you to hear me, attractive thinker. That environment where you got that idea and your energy rose and you felt it in your heart and you were inspired and you saw a new vision of yourself, like Tisha says, that environment, it every environment has resources within it in which to grow. It has a certain set of limitations. Only certain things can grow in certain environments. So that environment would then inspire you. Did you take that environment home? Could
Mm.
that be the reason why you lost your energy? Your energy was drained, and you weren't as excited, and you didn't, the inspiration and creativity didn't come like it did at the event? Because
Mm-hmm.
that event was a certain environment where ideas and dreams can grow, a
Yes.
certain environment where people can get inspired, where they can get motivation, where their light comes back on. So you have to go home and create an environment that's suitable for your growth, that can grow that idea that you just brought home. That's the thing. It's the environment. So now you have to change and shift your environment, and you have to notify the people in it that you're creating a new normal for yourself. Most of
Yes.
the time, people are changing and they get these new ideas and they pursue new dreams, and they don't notify their circle. So your circle is expecting you to talk like this, still hang out the way you say, eat this, do this, go here, do this for fun or whatever. And you've changed and you didn't tell them. So they're like, oh, so you get comments like, oh, she acting funny again. Oh, she thinks she's so such and much. Or she thinks she's better. No, educate your circle. Let them know
Yes.
that you're changing your identity. Let them know that you're
Yes.
creating a new normal. And just by default, see, some people don't like to change their circle because they say, oh, I don't, we've been friends for 25 years. I don't have the guts to say. Sometimes when you change, the people just automatically fall away. You don't have to do
Mm-hmm.
anything. So don't think you have to say something or do something to redefine relationships. Sometimes they take care of themselves. Back to you, Tisha.
Yes. Yes. Can you believe that uh, we can make a comfort zone
Mhm,
in the old?
mhm,
We get so accustomed to
mhm.
having things a certain way. It
Yes,
rather it's healing or not healing,
yes.
rather it's having lack or not lack. Whatever you're used to,
Mhm.
you can get accustomed to that
Yeah.
and get so comfortable with it that you don't even realize you're suffering anymore because it's so common now.
Yeah.
And then when you go to try to change it, like Dr. Toni said, and you don't change your environment, you don't make that bridge. We talked about that bridge. You don't bridge it from the time where you got the idea to the time where you get home and it's time to implement it. You didn't have, a bridge like mental change, where you have to really adjust your mental status to be able to uh, live the new normal. You have to be able to adjust. Maybe you didn't change your friendships, like she said, and your friends might be in a position that they don't want to grow. They're comfortable where you guys were, but maybe that's not comfortable for you anymore.
Right.
And here's the thing though, when we come to that, we obtain a little guilt. We tend to have a little guilt because we say, well, something must be wrong with me because, maybe they right. Maybe I am too big for my britches. Maybe
Mhm.
I am doing too much. Maybe it doesn't take all that. You start considering
Yes.
whether or not something's wrong with you when it might not be something wrong with you other than you grew
Mm.
and were willing to change, because everybody don't willing to change. And listen, if you have some of them forever friends,
Mhm.
God bless you. That is amazing. I have some really great, amazing friends that grow, friends that want to ignite, be on fire, and they're really trying to go and get theirs. And I appreciate that. But if you don't have that in your circle, then and you're trying to get somewhere, you might have to actually change it. Because like she said, if you're learning all this stuff and you're learning how to be a doctor and you got all this stuff going on and you can't communicate this new stuff, that means you are going to let go of all the things you learn, because the best way for you to really get deep into whatever you learn is to pour it out.
Mhm.
Sometimes I don't know how much stuff I know until I open my mouth.
Mhm.
When you go and teach somebody, so when you having that conversation with your friends and you're running that information all over again, because every time you tell somebody something, you have to then go in your mind and get that statement out. So everything around you is gonna have to change if it's not um, adding value to where you are going. Because there's some things you don't let go. You
Mhm.
never let go of yourself. You don't let go of your imagination. For the ones that
Yeah.
are supporting and uplifting and encouraging and being there for you, and they like, go, go, go. You know, those are treasures you keep.
Yes.
You keep your treasures, you keep your gem, you keep your lesson. You let go of the pain, but you keep your lesson. You
That's
let
right.
go of the problem, but you keep the lesson. Because every problem will actually um, open up your mind, open up your eyes so that you can see the bigger picture. Like we always talk about the bigger picture, so that you can see a resolution.
Yes.
But you don't hold on to the pain, and you don't hold on to what's not serving you. When something has an expiration date, you have to let that go and then trust
Yeah.
that God is going to bring you a replacement, a
Yeah.
better replacement, where maybe you're leaving this job, right? Maybe you say, okay, I'm going to leave this job, and you're trusting God for a new business. And in order to do that new business, there's some things you're not going to let go. Here's the thing that I'm talking about, not letting go. When you shift from having a job to having a business, you don't let go of the amount of time you put in. Now you got to put in that time for yourself.
Mm.
You're letting go of building somebody else's legacy in order to take on your legacy, but you have to let go of you don't let go of the diligence, the effort,
Yeah.
all the time it takes to be what you want to be. You don't let that go, but you can let go of the building somebody else's stuff, having somebody tell you when to go somewhere, when you can't go somewhere. And again, business is not for everybody. And again, we talked about self-acceptance. If you know that's not for you, then great. God bless you. And I'm thankful to know where I stand. But once you do learn who you are and you accept who you are, and you understand that you have to change in order for things to change. Your environment may have to change. Your circle may have to change. I mean, they all serve its purpose, but they may have to change. Once you discover all of that, it's gonna take you to do all of that in order for you to not only obtain what you want, but to maintain it as well, because you don't want to keep falling back into the same routine and the same instances, the same responses, same consequences over and over again. You just recycling the same thing. So change, it takes a mental shift, but it's definitely necessary.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. When you're talking about the circle, When I first started, launched out into entrepreneurship, I looked at my circle because I kept hearing the coaches talking about it. You sit in church and your pastor's talking about it. When God is elevating you, taking you to another space, you have to make some adjustments and shifts and things like that. Everybody that's with you now can't go with you to the next level. You hear things like that, and you're not sure what changes or shifts to make. So I started out by just informing, because see, a lot of times you don't have to get rid of the people in your current circle. You just have to include more people who are where you're going in your circle. You have to spend
Yes.
more time with them and less time with others. So I had to make some
Mm-hmm.
adjustments. I started out by informing my circle, listen, I'm about to do something new. I'm launching out into a business. My time is going to be prioritized. I'll be available. I'm not available between 9 and 3 p.m., 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I had to tell my family that as long as nobody's bleeding or dying, do not call me until after 3 p.m. And they understood that. And that was how I was able to get things done. I couldn't have my phone ringing all hours of the day when I'm trying to, get my business up off of the ground. And that's the shift and the change that we have to make as entrepreneurs, because moving from an employee mindset to entrepreneur mindset, that's two different mindsets. That's two different lifestyles, two different ways of showing up in the world. You're getting up now. Now you don't have to get up and go work for someone else and build their legacy. Now you have to get up for yourself. And that's when the conflict starts, because now you're confronted with your value and your worth, your motivation and your inspiration, like, understanding that you're worthy of you getting up on time. Now you got to be on time to yourself. Now you have to be accountable to yourself and responsible for your own self. Nobody's clocking you. Nobody's watching you. Nobody's standing over top of you telling you the next thing to do. Like, okay, you finished this, now do this. Now you have to do all of that for yourself. So that's a part of the blocks that can take place in that process to that change, creating your new normal. You're getting in the way. Or should I say, now you have to confront you that's in the way. So while you're
Mm-hmm.
growing your business idea, you got to keep working on you. Move you out of the way. You find yourself procrastinating, you got to figure out why. Go a little bit deeper. Why am I procrastinating? I have the information. I know the steps to take. That's why I host these clarity sessions, to give attractive thinkers an opportunity to get crystal clear as to what it is they want to do with their lives, where are they going, what are they creating, what are the blocks that they're encountering along the way, and here are the tools that you use for those blocks so that you keep the momentum going and you don't get stuck. Being stuck, you can get stuck for weeks, which turns into months and which turns into years. Getting stuck on the same goal every year, nothing changes but your age. Think about that, attractive thinker. We have to confront this new normal process, this change process, and be willing. Be willing. And it's not going to be difficult when you have a made up mind, when your why is strong enough, and you just say, you know what, I'm going for it. What do I have to lose? I get one life and I'm going to change. You don't have to live the life that you've lived ever since you were 19 or 18. You don't have to live the life that was handed to you in your childhood. You can change and grow with life, because we're supposed to evolve and grow and expand and change. Nothing is set in stone. You don't have to say, well, I've been doing this since I was 18, or I've been doing this since I was 25. You can change. You wanted to be a lawyer, you became a lawyer. If you want to be a doctor, you can do it. You can
Mm-hmm.
do it. It's a decision. You can change your whole life, but it's a decision. You have to be willing. You say, ask yourself, say, am I willing to change everything about my life? I think it was Wayne Dyer that um, sold everything, had his assistants sell everything that he had owned. He had made it to levels of success in his life, had the homes and the cars or whatever, all of the materialistic things that he wanted, and it didn't satisfy. There was still another longing. So he had his assistants sell everything in his entire possession in that home. And then he moved, I think, to India on this quest to discover deeper experiences and all of that. But that's just an example of the change that has to take place in our lives. Change means change. It doesn't mean stay the same or keep things the same way. And we have to be willing to embrace that change. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be okay with that. We have to know that that's a part of change. And life is not trying to hurt you. Life is not trying to keep anything from you. Life is trying to give you a bigger expression, give you room to really expand, and give you a bigger expression of yourself. Back to you, Tashette.
You have to embrace change. When embracing change, you have to make sure that you have the victor lenses on. Because when something happens that causes you to shift, if you're looking at your situation through a victim mentality, a victim,
Yeah.
you're going to have that friction, that frustration. You're going to have that battle. You're going to make it a lot harder than it has to be because you're not allowing yourself to grow and change with whatever's being presented to you. You're not allowing yourself to see what the real bigger picture is. But when you are a victor and you know you're more than conquerors and you know that things happen, like Dr. Toni said, it happens for you, not to you, then you can look at the situation that you're going through and you have to adjust. You will adjust. You will refuse to lay down and die in it. You will refuse to let it take you over. You will adjust here and you won't, you know, apply it where it's so hard that you can't handle it, that you're overwhelmed. We've all been in situations of being overwhelmed. But when you are willing to make it past everything you've gone through, and you are determined to get all there is to get out of life, you make the shift and the changes in your mind. Like Dr. Toni said, there's no limit to where you can go from here. You going up from here. But when you shift and change your mindset, your circumstances, your environment, everything around you, even if you wanted to fall back, it's not that it wouldn't be so easy, because when you changed everything around you. Now your environment matches the new you. Your environment becomes the new normal, just in case you want to fall back. And then your environment no longer suits the old you. So if you try to go back to the old you, your environment will say, this is not good. This is not great. I thought we left that. I thought we were done with that. So when you are changing and you're shifting and you change everything around you, when you're ready to turn around and give up, I have a power wall on my room, and my power wall is built in a time of power. I also have a power wall on my website at visualencouragement.com. It reflects the wall that's in my room. So in my power, when I decided to change, when I decided to grow in my higher self, in my power, I created a whole lot of different little cards that I call some of them are triggers. It's like one word that will trigger me back to where I said I wanted to go. It's one statement that will tell me, okay, don't give up. It's one statement that if I read this statement, it's going to cause me to grow right then and there. It's going to shift me. It's going to remind me who I am. It's going to make me stronger. It's going to give me fight when I feel like giving up. So I put that power wall in my room, because I needed that wall to be where I first lay my eyes in the morning. When I open my eyes, I need the new me, my new mindset to stare me right in the face so I don't fall into the default comfort zone way of thinking that has led me to limitation, limited thinking, making decisions I wasn't really proud of. So I decided to change, and I decided that I was so dead set on the changing that everything around me had to change to support that. So even if I thought about going back, my wall will fight for me. Again, I have a power wall on visualencouragement.com. For those of you that have not built a power wall or don't have a vision board or dream board, I suggest that you do one, you make one. It is necessary for you to have that vision board. But you can go on my website, click on power wall, and I have a lot of statements, life-changing, things there that can help you shift and build from there. And then when you get to the point where you're at your higher self, build, shift, change, keep going, build, shift, change. You gotta change the music because you want to sing a different song. You don't want to keep singing that same old woe is me song. You don't want to keep singing that same old victim song. Those same old, another, like Toni Braxton say, another sad love song. You don't want to do that. You want to sing a different song. One is just uplifting and encouraging. One that will put you on your feet when you want to sit and give up. Yeah. There's no giving up. We have come so far.
Yes.
We have done too much. We have sacrificed so much to get where we are that we can't afford to run back now. We can't afford to turn back now. There's nothing waiting back here. I mean, if you want to get the lesson, that's good. That lesson's right here. Put it in your bag, but keep it moving. You know, revisit what you went through for the lesson, and that's it.
That's right.
You know, there's no need to keep taking the same experiences over and over again, the same habits, the same trends, the same response, the same decision to make the same consequences. We don't need to keep taking that with us. So we got to shift and change and allow everything else to shift and change around us and support us. Your environment can support you. Once you make that decision to change and you start building an environment that does that, your environment, you'd be surprised, can support you. Because even if you wanted to go back, like I said, even if you wanted to, you can't. Because the old you can never be comfortable in the new environment. And the new environment will cause the old you to have to keep coming back to the new you. You can't. The only thing in life that is constant is change. So why not grow with the change? Adjust with the change. Allow yourself to learn and run, you know, allow yourself to run. You don't have to sit and bathe in comfort zone.
Yes.
You know, I remember somebody saying, and this might be you, Dr. Toni, where I remember you saying, what you want and desire is on the other side of your comfort zone, is on the other side of what you're not willing to do. Yeah. I think you said that on the radio. You know, what you want, everything you want and desire is on the other side of what you're not willing to do, on the other side of your comfort zone. You got to step out. You know, we talked about last week hiding. What are you hiding? You know, we talked about that. That's another comfort zone. We have so many ways of keeping us in our comfort zone. We got to knock that stuff out. Because in order for you to step out, you're going to have to step out of that comfort zone. You're going to have to become uncomfortable and adjust to the change and allow yourself to be powerful so that you can receive and accept all that God has for you. Back to you, Dr. Toni.
I like that. I like that. Everything in life will support you, attractive thinker, in the new normal, in the change. And you said something to Shay. You said the things that you desire are on the other side of what you're not willing to do. So when you think about that statement, imagine everything that you desire. You mean it's sitting there waiting? It's sitting there waiting for me to rise up to it, because the things that you desire are on another level of living. They're on an accountable level of living. They're on an abundant level of living, a greater level of living, a responsible level of living. You have to become a different person just to manage those things. So that's a part of that change that you want to embrace and recognize. See, you're talking about going from one being to another being. When I say being, how you be right now, that's based on the life that you've created that's functioning in your life right now. This other thing that you desire, you have to create a new being, because you will be a different person on that level. An author's lifestyle is totally different from a person who is not an author. Mm-hmm. So in order to create that new normal and create a lifestyle around it, and when we say normal, meaning you're not walking around stressed out, oh my God, like I'm on this other level, but how am I going to live on this level? How am I going to be able to afford it? Or how do I interact with these people? I don't know what to say. They're talking about things I don't understand. Oh my God, like I'm on another level and it's kind of scary. Where do I shop now? What do I buy? How do I be? What do I eat? What do I drive? Or how do I get from here to there? Or how do I interact? Or is there another level after this? See, all of that takes place when you're transitioning into a new normal. And just like what we're going through right now in our country, in the world with the pandemic, we're creating a new normal whether we want to or not. We're
Mhm.
adjusting to a new normal. At first, it was kind of weird, like, wear these masks. Oh my God, like it's hot underneath this mask. I'm sweating underneath this mask. I can't get no oxygen underneath this mask. Well, I don't want to wear this thing on my face. Do I have to go everywhere and wear this thing on my face? Oh, I gotta put gloves on. Oh, I gotta stand 6 feet away from people. Oh, if I see a friend, I can't give them a hug. What in the world is going on? You're in the
Mhm.
process of creating a new normal. Oh, I have to wash
Mhm.
my groceries off when I get them home. Oh, I have to take my shoes off at the door. Oh, I can't be coughing and sneezing around nobody. I don't want nobody coughing and sneezing around me. What's going on? We have just stepped into a new normal, and we're going to have to be
Mhm.
okay with it if we're going to survive. See, Tashette, that's a whole nother topic, how to survive in your new normal. And we can tie that in. It's a part of Beyond the Break, life beyond the break. Can you handle who you have to become as a result of life beyond the break? As a result
Mhm.
of the change, that thing that you desire, that thing that you're asking for, can you be that person that has that thing and be okay with it?
Yeah.
Or sometimes we sabotage the gift, the blessing, the opportunity, the results that we're looking for by trying to get it. We want to get it, and then we want to drag it back into the old normal, the old lifestyle, that comfort zone. We want to get it, and then we want to take it back to our old circle. You want to go up to the next level and get it, and then take it down a level. That's sabotaging, and it's not going to happen. It's not going to work. You're not going to reap the full benefit of it. We have to be okay with the question is not, can you handle change, or can you stand to be blessed, or can you function in the new normal? The question is, can you give yourself permission to be a greater version of you?
Mhm.
Can you honor yourself enough to say, I know there's more to me than this, and I want to discover the greater version of me. I want to release another expression of myself. I want to take this hat off and put that hat on. Can you stand to be another person? Do you have the courage to redefine and create a whole new being? A
Mhm.
whole new being. Can
Yes.
you create a whole new conversation and stick with it and never talk like that again? Can you create a whole new lifestyle and live it and never live like that again? That's what the question is. Creating a new normal, life beyond the break, embracing change. See, change is not just shifting some things around and then for a few days, and then after you get what you want, you go back. I mean, we do that with health and wellness. We do that. We lose 60 pounds, and the things that we did to get to lose the 60 pounds, we let that go, and then we turn around and gain 15 or gain 35. Can you stand to change and get the result and then maintain it and get better and continue to change and grow and evolve? Can we handle that kind of new normal? Back to you,
Yes.
Jack.
Yes, it takes a lot to handle that kind of new normal. It
It,
takes a lot, but we have to be willing, and we have to believe and stand on that belief. Changing things is not easy at all, because it requires you to look at things differently. It requires you to feel something differently. It feels foreign. You
yeah.
don't know anybody up here. You don't know where everything is. You're so used to knowing where everything is. It causes you to let go of control a little bit,
That's good.
where in the comfort zone, you control everything. You know where everything is. You know where everything goes. This is this, that is that. You have a complete identification with the comfort zone. Then change comes in, and is something you don't recognize. Oh, what's this? And what does this equal? And what's going on with this? What does this add up to? What's over here? That doesn't fit in there. You have these different variables that you can't necessarily account for, but this is where you lean out into your own understanding,
Mhm.
because God knows what he's doing in the midst of what you don't understand.
That's right.
You just have to trust and stand on it
That's
and
right.
allow him to change and grow. You allow him to change and allow your new normal
Yeah.
to take place. It's a big shift. in order to embrace your new normal.
That's
You
right.
know, you asked a good question. Can you stand to embrace your new normal? Can you stand to embrace your new normal? You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people, we can't, because we have to have control. We can't lose any type of control.
Mm,
And you can't control what you don't know.
mm,
You can't control unknown variables. You can kind of, maybe have it flow towards a certain way, but when you don't know what's waiting right here on the other side of this, it's hard to control that. You can,
I agree.
guesstimate or try to, have it add up to something great and magnificent. But again, we don't know. So you got to be able to let go of control and be willing to change. I mean,
Mm,
that's a shift in itself,
it is.
changing.
It is.
The uncommon,
Mm,
it's a fearful place
mm,
because everything is new.
mhm.
You have to adjust, which means you have to stretch. And we all know stretching is not comfortable at
Yeah.
all.
Yes.
Stretching, if you stretch right now, you stretch your muscles, it's not comfortable.
That,
It's good for you, it's
that's.
good for your health, but it's not comfortable.
Mm,
Some people might think it is, especially if you're in pain and you stretch. So
mhm.
stretching can be good. So when you're stretching your mind and you're changing and you're shifting, it can be good, but it can also be uncomfortable. You just gotta be willing to get the results. The
Mm,
results are yours, they're waiting for you. The
mhm.
results is at your fingertips. It's just waiting for you to accept it, to believe it, to walk in it, to declare it, to decree it, and have it established in your life. It's just waiting on you to change,
Yeah.
So back to you, Dr. Toni.
The results are what we hold on to, and they pull us through the process of change. They pull us through that discomfort that comes along with change. Change comes with a little bit of discomfort. And when you break it down, you have to process things in your mind. First of all, you have to sit down and make a decision. You have to weigh your advantages and disadvantages and get clear on the decision that you're going to make. Once you have that clarity, it does away with a lot of unnecessary things that you have to encounter along the way. When you don't have clarity, when you encounter the resistance that's attached to change, it becomes easier for you to retreat. But when you've sat down and you've gotten clear, received clarity on why you're making this change or that decision that you're making or whatever, you, it empowers you. I want you to hear that, attractive thinker. It empowers you. And then it does away with that mind waffling back and forth. Maybe I shouldn't have tried this. Maybe I shouldn't have went all the way out here anyway. What's wrong with me? I'm always wanting more than what I have, or can't be comfortable, or can't be content. I'm always trying to create something. Maybe this is not for me. It does away with all of that because you got clarity in the beginning before you even started this journey, and you made up your mind. Decisions are a powerful, powerful thing. They come with fuel. Decisions come with fuel. And it's like gassing up your car and putting it on a full tank of gas because you're ready to go somewhere. Well,
Mm-hmm.
decisions are the fuel that you need to fully get you from where you are to where you desire to be. When you have not made that decision, you're leaving the door wide open for you to turn around and go back. So you want to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that door is closed by sitting down, getting clear, making the decision, shutting the door, and never turn back. Never
Never
ever
turn
turn
back.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Never go back to the way things used to be. That old identity, you stepped out of it just like you stepped out of a worn pair of shoes, and you never turn back. You never put your feet back in them same old shoes. Now, when I say a well-worn pair of shoes, think about your house slippers or an old pair of tennis shoes you've had for a long time and they're comfortable. They fit your feet to a T. If you have corns on your feet, the shoe accommodates the corns. You got a little bump in the shoe to accommodate the corns. If you this hurt or that hurt, or your big toe is longer than your other toes, that shoe shows all of that because it's a well-worn shoe and you could slide your foot in it just like a slipper. And that's your comfort zone. They're comfortable. And it's the
Mhm.
same way when you're going about change and leaving a comfort zone. It's comfortable. It fits. Like you said to Shay, you don't have to figure it out or wonder where things are or how it works. It just fits all of your right places. But when you're in the process of change, embracing that new normal, you have to weather that storm, fortify yourself until that you get through the resistance to change, and then you will have created a whole nother new normal, and
Mhm.
you get used to that normal. And if you're like us as attractive thinkers, once you get used to that new normal and you're okay with it, you're ready for the next level of your life,
Yes.
because you're always growing and expanding. And here's the thing, the same tools that you used on that last level to bring about that new normal and that change in your life, you have those tools in your tool belt. Of course, the next level may require a few more tools, and you're just
Yes.
collecting tools along the way. After a while, you're used to change and you expect change, and you know what to expect when it comes down to changing. You're already prepared for it, and it's not as
Mhm.
scary because it's just a little resistance along the way, and
Yes.
then I'm back to my another new normal, and then a little bit more resistance. After a while, you be like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this. Forget the resistance. I know the rules of this game already, and I'm just ready to get to the next level. So we're just gonna take a leap from here to there, and we're not going to go through all of these changes of hesitating and talking ourselves into and out of stuff, procrastinating and asking ourselves crazy questions like, why did I try this anyway? Or who do I think I am? You're an attractive thinker. That's who you are. You're a
Yes.
great person. There's greatness inside of you. You were blessed to grow, to multiply, to change, to subdue, to have dominion, to create. So you can't help but create. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. You might be out of the box. You might be out of the circle. You just got to find your way back into your right circle so you can prosper.
Mhm.
Prosperity is a zone all in itself. You can't prosper everywhere. Every environment comes with soil, and all the soil comes with a set of conditions where only certain things can grow. So you can't force yourself over in this environment and expect to grow here when the conditions aren't conducive for your growth. Back to
Yes.
you, Tasha.
Yes, I was just about to say that about the flower where it has the soil and the minerals in it to
Yeah.
cause it to grow. And here's the thing, you have to be a certain type of strong-willed person
Mm,
to be a flower that grew through concrete.
mm,
That's somebody that is determined no
yes.
matter what odds is against them.
Good.
That's somebody that knows who they are and not going to let anything stop them. Do you know how special you have to be given so many different circumstances, but you decide you're going to push past all of that and grow anyway? And now, because you have grown, there's some appreciation and some value to you that now you have to be uprooted from where you were and be in a place that suits you now. So some of us out here are roses that
Mm,
grew up in the middle of concrete.
mm,
Somebody's seeing our value, and God is uprooting us from that concrete and say, oh no, you belong over here. Let me give you some
mm,
soil, let me give you some minerals, let me feed you, let me, you thirsty, let me quench your thirst, giving you everything that you need.
good.
You decided to be of value regardless of what happened. And so with this day and age and all these things going on, it's a lot going on. But
Yes.
could all of this stuff going on be that we won't change until
Mm,
there's some discomfort?
mm,
It's
mm,
causing us to stretch because there is a new normal waiting for us.
mm,
There is a new life waiting for us. We
mm,
don't want the
mm.
pain, we don't. But when giving birth to something, pain sometimes is part of the process.
Yeah.
Pain is sometimes what you get. But here's the thing, you don't get caught up in the pain. You don't get caught up in the pain, but you keep the vision before you and you give birth right past that pain. And then soon when you go and look back at this situation, all of you're gonna say, can you believe that was so crazy? I can't believe we did all of that. I can't believe all this happened. You know, we almost went outside and then that was it for everybody, you know. But look how much change. Some of us in the middle of this pandemic has created businesses, has honed in on our gifts, has turned up in our spirit, has gotten more connected, has reestablished family, reestablished relationship, reestablished ourselves. There's so many things that came out of the pandemic, but if you don't if you take that part for granted, and you only look back and be like, we were stuck in a house and we had nothing to do, we was in the house for weeks at a time, you take away what was built in it.
Yeah.
So you can't get caught up in the pain of stuff. How many times do you look at your children? Well, you look at your children and say, I was in a lot of pain giving birth to you. No, you was like, this is my baby. This is my baby. Look at his arms and the fat legs. And you just like, with the baby. You're not saying, oh, but he put me through nine hours of labor. You know, it's funny though, because with my daughter, you know, now that she's 19, I was like, I was in labor for 7 days. You can get me a cup of water, you know. I be joking with her. I was like, you know, I start saying 7 whole days, you know, with her. So I tell her that, you know, just to kind of tease her. But honestly, I don't remember everything that all the pain and the discomfort. I just remember her getting here and smiling. My daughter, when she was born, she came out and smiled. She pushed past every odds. She's my miracle baby. Wow. You know, I had to go through a lot to give birth to her, you know, because she was a preemie. I had her at 26 weeks. And they gave me so many different scenarios that could take place. And I just had to stand and believe that the scenario that I wanted was available, you know, and I wanted my baby to be here. And they was like, okay, she's not going to do this or she's going to do that. But then she came out and she smiled and she let me know that she was okay. And my baby started to fight, and she's bigger than me now, you know, but she was born fighting. So when I watch her go through her life, I watch her fight, I watch her beat the odds every time. And it teaches me that not to give up in the pain, not to give up when all the odds are stacked against me, but to push past all of that and give birth, push past all of that and get everything that I want in my fingertips. We can beat the odds, you know. Yes, we can beat the odds with the pandemic going on, with the protests going on. You know, it's shifting us, yes. It's creating a new normal, yes. But it's all serves a purpose. We can't forget that. It all serves a purpose. All these protests and stuff out here that's going on, it all serves a purpose. This pandemic, it all served a purpose. See, we think it's bad, but we forget that what the devil means for your harm, God also means for your good. All things work together for good. All of it work together for the good. And when you understand that and stand on that, you'll make it past all of this pain right into your power, and you'll use it for good.
I love it. I love it. You are so right. Attractive thinkers, again, we were dropping gems along the way. I trust that you have received something that you can use to support you on your journey to change your new normal. That transformation is taking place in your life right now. There is a process to change. And when you're on that change path, you have to understand that you have to make some shifts. In order for you to grow, you got to change some things. You have to embrace change. You have to keep the vision ever before you, like Tisha said, of your new normal. Dr. Toni Hatton here, your Break the Cycle specialist at theattractivethinker.guru, where we support new and aspiring entrepreneurs and giving you the next steps, giving you some direction and clarity, holding your hand through the process so you don't quit before your vision comes to pass. I want you to also visit the Visual Encourager. Tisha Bradshaw.
The Visual Encourager. I am the Visual Encourager. You can reach my website at www.visualencouragement.com, where we provide mental support, keyword, mental support, for people who are dealing with depression. You feel held back. You know, you don't have a lot of support. For people who want to lift the heaviness so that they can create not just a new normal, but a new vision of themselves. and
Yes,
be able to change and shift with us. Visit us and let us know how we can uplift you and ignite you so you can live a life of fulfillment.
absolutely.
Visualencouragement.com.
I love it. Visualencouragement.com. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this message with your circle of influence, because you never know who might need it the most, and you're the person to deliver it to them. I want you to always remember our life's work, that's to make your life better. It is not what you're going through, it's how you're viewing it. Think, attract, and we'll see you soon.